Hi there, my name is Logan McCulloch, also known in the hiking community sometimes as Unitic, and I want to welcome you to our website, trekfortruth.org. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and just share a bit about what Trek for Truth is all about, and give you a quick overview of the site itself and what you'll find there. I thought perhaps the best way to try to get across the essence of what we're trying to do with this long walk across the United States starting on April the 18th at the Atlantic Ocean in Delaware and going west is to use an analogy that was shared by a scientist that I think really highly of, a guy named Dr. Bruce Lipton. He wrote a book called The Biology of Belief about an emerging science called epigenetics, which means above genetics. And he uses this analogy to kind of explain perhaps where we are as a species in this point of our adventure. And he uses the analogy of the metamorphosis, the transformation that takes place from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and talks about the biology that actually is taking place within the caterpillar, what some people might refer to as a mindless consumer. Caterpillar eats continually, destroys everything in its path as it consumes up until the point where it becomes a butterfly. And it's very, very true to say the life of the butterfly is about expressing and extending life, pollinating, sharing, expanding. Really different way of being than the caterpillar. And when the caterpillar's time has kind of come to a close and it's time for that metamorphosis to take place, there are cells that begin to appear in the body of the caterpillar, and they're literally called imaginal cells. And when they first start appearing, the caterpillar's body identifies them as invaders, not self, and attacks the early imaginal cells and destroys them. But they continue to propagate, and the imaginal cells grow and grow and grow in number until at a certain point the caterpillar is more butterfly than it is caterpillar, and the change is inevitable. It's just a question of when, not if. Dr. Lipton uses that analogy a lot of times to express what he and many of us feel we may be going through on this planet right now, is that transformation from one way of being to another, from being the collective caterpillar to being a collective butterfly. And to me, that's a big part of why I'm going to try and walk across the country and have conversations with people all over this land about our real potential as human beings and as humanity. There are three people that are highlighted on this website. Up at the top, you'll see a scrolling banner. Two of them are scientists, Nikola Tesla and Raymond Rife. Some of you may have heard of either or both, but they're not very prominently covered in history. And there's a reason for that, because both of them were imaginal cells in my mind. They lived in the early part of the 1900s. They were contemporaries. Tesla was really a genius inventor and scientist working in areas of energy, and Rife, equally a genius, and he was working in the medical field as well as optics, and they created an advanced microscope of his time. Both of them were people that were expressing a very, very high level of intelligence that each admitted was not coming solely from them, but through them. And each of them was expressing that intelligence in a way that was about helping other people around this planet be healthier, be more abundant, and enjoy more of life, not at the expense of others. And the third person that's profiled on our site is a woman by the name of Pilgrim, the first woman to ever hike the entire Appalachian Trail in one season in 1952. And subsequent to that, on January the 1st, 1953, she began an almost 28-year cross-country pilgrimage, took the name Peace Pilgrim, and walked until she was given shelter, fasted until she was given food, all on the deep understanding that all people have an innate goodness within them, that spark of the divine. And she intentionally committed her life to seeing that in each person she met. She's a great inspiration to me personally. And as I write about on the site, I'm not trying to mimic her with this trek for truth, but I definitely am inspired by her. All three of those people were chosen for our website with great intention because their example is very, very, very powerful. And those kinds of beings ought to be ones that we spend a great deal more time focusing our intentional awareness on than sometimes historical figures that are prominently cataloged in history. So I invite you to click the banners and read more about their stories. Search our site. You'll hear more about me if you check the About Us page. I've got a profile of my background. Some people may already know of me from my previous long-distance hike on the Appalachian Trail when I was trying to raise awareness for Lyme disease, the fastest spreading epidemic in the world, and something I've personally experienced. And that experience itself kind of took me down the rabbit hole, trying to understand why the world is the way it seems to be right now on the surface, when down deep within each individual that I typically meet is this depth of compassion and empathy and kindness. The vast majority of the folks that I've encountered, both through my time at the Red Cross as a disaster professional and out on the trail, and other experiences in my life just continue to reinforce that. So our site starts off with our homepage, where you may be watching this video right now. You can read about me and my partner in crime, Drew Allgaier, on the About Us page. Drew is a dear friend of mine. We met each other in a spiritual study group and got to be great friends and realized how much we have in common. And Drew is every bit as big a part of this hike as I am, this trek for truth. He's kind of operating mission control here in Louisville, Kentucky, and making all the behind the scenes parts work. So please visit the About Us page and you can read more about both of us and our backgrounds. There's a page called The Trail that talks about the American Discovery Trail, has links to my online trail journal where you can get some of the day-to-day updates, brief ones. I'll be blogging here on this site with longer entries, and so will Drew. I'm glancing down because I have my computer in front of me. One of my lingering Lyme symptoms is some communication challenges, some cognitive impairment, including short-term memory issues. We'll have a page on there called Videos, where we'll have topical videos. You'll see some on there right now. We'll be adding videos from the trail, and we'll be doing interviews with people all across the country and share those there. We've got an awareness page that has a number of different categories like education, energy, science, spirit, and others, with information, authors, articles, videos that we've found really, really helpful in our own research and journey, and hope you might find some resources there you appreciate. A research page where we're going to share links to other researchers. It includes something called the Awareness Alliance, which is a set of websites and researchers' blogs from a variety of different categories that you may find additional information. And we obviously have a Help Us page, as well as our contact page. Drew and I are self-funding the first several months of this hike, but it may take me as long as 8 to 10 months to reach the West Coast. And we'd invite you, if you find some value in this website and in this project, we're just trying to sow some seeds. I actually use the analogy that part of this hike is kind of like being Johnny Appleseed, throwing some information out there like seeds, and moving on and letting them take root with those folks that are ready for those topics to grow within them, start their own germination process. And part of the hike is kind of a little bit of Paul Revere, because there's some really, really negative things going on in the world that does us no good to ignore. Knowledge is power, and a big part of awakening to our individual power is expanding our self-awareness and looking into some of these topics that are a bit dark, with the idea that recognizing the problem and reaching that level of mind that creates solutions that come from a higher point of viewing than maybe the state of mind that created those problems depends upon information. So you can make a financial donation if you'd like to help keep moving me across the country and getting videos up and written materials and continue to connect with folks. There are also other ways you can help. We send in care packages, send in good wishes. There's a calendar page that'll kind of give you a sense of where I'll be when, which post offices I'll pass by, and folks can send care packages to the trail just like many people did for me on the Appalachian Trail. And honestly, just sending good wishes and good energy. I am not 100% healthy by any stretch of the imagination. I still struggle with some health issues that I know I'm going to move beyond, just like so many other folks I know that are challenged with many different flavors of health issues, chronic illness. You know, some estimates put more than 50% of the U.S. population suffering from one or more chronic illnesses, and perhaps 75% plus of our healthcare dollar going to treat, not cure, but to treat these illnesses. And I write quite a bit about my experience and my research about the medical system as it stands right now, the medical industry, and some of the very systemic issues intentionally created within it from its origins back in the late 1800s and 1900s that keep that reality of widespread illness moving forward. So sending those powerful thoughts of healing and support will be huge in helping me keep putting one foot in front of the other. We never heal alone. We always heal in relationship with other folks. And I want to thank everyone that's helped me get to this point. And I want to thank you in advance if you can help us with this project. And hopefully you'll find some value and refer it to other folks. And I hope you visit the site. Send us an email. Our contact information is on the page. We'd love to hear from you. We really hope this website over time grows to be kind of a community resource. And if you've got resources, research topics, videos, people we don't know about, you know, just in the last couple of years I became aware of folks like Alan Weisbecker and Richard Grove, who were prominently highlighted on our website. Amazing researchers that are trying their level best to share valuable information that empowers the individual as well as our society as we move forward. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for today. I hope you'll join us along the way, and hopefully I'll get to meet some of you guys between here and California, because I'd love to have some folks come out and join me for a day hike, an overnighter, wherever you can. But even at a minimum, send me an email. Love to hear from you. And thanks for joining us on this journey. For today, that's Unitic out.